Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Sarah Lee Day, your host of Last Semester Today, and just time today for a quick recap of this semester. And we begin with a necessary moment of silence for the loss of America's most beloved hyperbolic pit bull. Yes, that is correct. Antonin Scalia, the man who brought such epic bluster to the English language, such as the opinions couched in a style that is as pretentious as its content is egotistic. It is one thing for separate concurring or dissenting opinions to contain extravagances, even silly extravagances of thought and expression, and he would certainly know. It is something else entirely for the official opinion of the court to do so. Of course, the opinion's showy profundities are often profoundly incoherent. Says the man who used the phrase applesauce in one of his opinions. He also brought us this quote, which, to be honest, I'm not even going to bother reading to you because it is condescendingly long, but it's from an actual Supreme Court case that at its root is arguing about the nature of classic Platonic golf and if walking is a fundamental element of said sport. Personally, I think that a better question to be before the court would be, does golf even constitute a sport? Yes, Scalia has passed. And while it is easy to poke fun at his really verbose and creative assaults on human dignity and empathy, we show ourselves to be possessed of greater compassion when we are able to set all of this aside and remember what is good in him as well. So, let's for now set aside any animosity we might have towards the man who routinely fell on the wrong side of any decision pretty much involving women's reproductive rights, women's rights period, racial equality, the death penalty, gender equality, sexual orientation rights. I mean, this is a man who disagreed with the decision in Miranda v. Arizona. But, for now, let's set that aside and remember what was good in him as well. For example, this is the man who wrote a decision making it so that police couldn't use infrared and heat radars as a basis for search warrants. And the cool thing about this is it's allowing people all over the country to grow indoor marijuana with less fear of Big Brother. The other great thing about Antonin Scalia is this epic quote, in which he says, if it were impossible for individual human beings or groups of human beings to act autonomously in effective pursuit of a common goal, the game of soccer would not exist. Hashtag Mrs. Anfield. Hashtag Liverpool FC. Hashtag we won it 5 times. Hashtag you'll never walk alone. Now, this notably leaves a vacancy on the court, which the appointment clause of the U.S. Constitution states should be filled by the sitting U.S. president. That would be this man. Now, predictably, these men and women are vowing to block any nomination made. And don't get me wrong, the Supreme Court cases and a vacancy on the Supreme Court can have massive ramifications. But considering what's going on in New Orleans and Louisiana right now, and no, I'm not referring to a prolonged Mardi Gras hangover of epic proportions, or the former governor deciding that it was a really great idea to feature the Planned Parenthood sting videos filmed by the deceptively named Center for Medical Progress as a matinee at the governor's mansion. I hope you brought your popcorn. Discount showing. I heard seniors are free. Yeah, no, he actually did that. But seriously, folks, Louisiana has a problem. The public defender system is broke. And that's not poor English on my part. I don't mean broken, as in doesn't work, although that's certainly true too. I mean broke, as in bankrupt, has no money, in the red. Now, this is a problem because of that pesky little document we love when convenient. You see, the Sixth Amendment of the United States Constitution guarantees, among a right to a speedy trial in front of the jury of your peers, the right to representation. And subsequent Supreme Court cases have elucidated that this does in fact mean that if a defendant cannot afford representation, representation is to be provided for him. Now, this is a massive problem, and this is a cornerstone of the criminal justice system. It's an obligation that the Louisiana public defender system currently is not able to meet. A 63% budget shortfall has left the entire state of Louisiana public defender system with a paltry $13 million for their annual budget. And this is a state that already incarcerates at a greater rate than anywhere else on the planet. Let me repeat that. Louisiana incarcerates at a greater rate than anywhere on the planet. Twice the rate of the US, 3 times the rate of Russia, and even higher than Korea, a place run by this despot. And if you're imprisoning people at a rate greater than Korea, North Korea, you've got serious, serious problems. It's been predicted that by July, 33 of the 42 public defender systems will be declining representation. 11 will shut down by October completely. Already, 102 defendants have been declined representation or put on a wait list. 60 of those individuals are awaiting trial from jail. And in recent days, an appellate court judge ruled that it was unconstitutional in violation of Sixth Amendment rights and ordered the release of many people relating trial. Now, some of these individuals were on charges of homicides, domestic violence, or sexual assault. So now we have both a problem and an attack on individual civil liberties and a public safety and well-being concern. Now, and this is actually the one part of the story that can bring a legitimate smile to your face, if that can be said of anything in this entire messed up situation. Louisiana is so broke, and I swear I'm not making this up, that when the ACLU responded by filing a class action lawsuit on behalf of those awaiting trial, the Louisiana public defender system can't afford to defend themselves and are being humbled to accept pro bono representation from an outside firm. Louisiana. And cut.